Hello guys, welcome to Launchplat. With us today we have Mr. Rajat Sharma. So he passed out of NLU Jodhpur in 2020 and now he works as an associate in Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas. He's one of those people who has done everything in law school. So I know that he plays football. He has take part in some fests. He has written a lot about. So I read about his articles. One of them being snippets in law school also, in which he explains about National Law University Jodhpur also. So it would be a great time to hear him say about his time in law school, the way he spent it, and life in NLUJ in a snippet. So without any further ado, Rajat, over to you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing this. NLU Jodhpur boasts of having a 55-acre campus, which is huge for any NLU, and I think that's why we are located far away from the city. The college offers two courses for law students at the moment, which is the usual BA LLB honors, and the other is the BBA LLB honors. The college provides you the flexibility to study different subjects in a very specialized manner. So once you have crossed third year, for instance, you are given an option to select subjects which form part of certain specialization. So we had five, I think. We had international trade law honors, in which you would study subjects like international trade law, WTO laws, how arbitration works in international dispute settlement, the IP aspects of international trade. So I think this was a very interesting course that I think a lot of NLUs do not provide. This used to be like our key offering. Then we have business law honors, which is the usual. You'd study a lot of corporate laws, how securities laws work, banking laws in India, and mergers and acquisitions, competition law. And apart from that, we had constitutional law honors, criminal law honors, and IP law honors. The college also has courtroom exercises. Essentially, are these exercises which are mini moots in every law subject till your ninth semester. So in every law subject, law subjects meaning all the core law subjects apart from your BA and BBA. So you will have these mini moots wherein your law faculty will be providing you with a certain problem, 1-pager, 2-pager problem, and then you'll be given a week to prepare a small memorial, and you have to, at the end of that week, make your oral presentation in front of the faculty. It's a huge campus. I think we boast of having we boast of having a culture which promotes sports, and we have a full-fledged football field, we have a full-fledged cricket field, we have a tennis court, a fully well-made basketball court, we have a badminton court, and essentially I am not sure if you guys have heard of the fest that we have the sports fest called Yuvardha, and it happens every alternative year, and Yuvardha is considered to be one of the best sports fest in the law school circuit. So I think that is one of the biggest attractions of the campus itself, because when you enter, you see so much greenery in the campus, and that greenery is backed by all these, the grounds that we have for like different sports. Everybody from the first year onwards has an individual room. So I think having an individual room to yourself for all the 5 years is a great benefit. We had 3 mess in the college, and the thing with our mess is that we don't follow the system of having fixed menus. The concept was that you don't pay for your like food in a fixed manner. You decide on the basis of menu for that day as to what you want to eat. All the mess used to provide a very extensive menu, and you could just pay at the time when you were taking your meal. Let's say if you don't want to take a meal at certain point of time, you're not paying unnecessarily for that meal, and that again used to be a decent flexibility. The library is extremely well equipped, and library timings are also quite flexible, because you can stay in the library till midnight and study for your, like, if you don't want to study in your hostel, you can study in the library. And I think this is something that all NLUs have now started doing, that the library timings are quite flexible. We also had a night sort of a cafe. You could say it used to be a tuck shop sort of a thing, wherein like during exams, it used to be extended till 4 a.m. and they will deliver food to you on the rooms.
What is a day like in your NLU? Like till what time classes held and what after what is our
So average day, average day is different for everybody. But so I would say that our college has a 70% minimum attendance requirement, and which means that you will end up attending those classes. And average day used to begin 39 a.m. when first class used to happen, and we used to have a 1 hour break after 4 classes and 6 classes a day, and 2 classes used to happen after the lunch break, so to say. And the day used to end, at least the academic part of the day used to end at 2:30 or 3 sometimes. And after that, then it completely depends upon what you want to do. Some people used to head to library to do their daily readings. If you're doing courses like criminal law, you used to go to library to read your judgments for the day, prepare for a test, and write your articles, do your research. Some people used to go back to hostel to catch up on a quick hour of sleep. And then I think since we have such a lively sporting environment, you always post 5 you will always find a lot of people playing either cricket or football is like a major like we have a very strong football team and they used to practice on a daily basis. And, it average day differs for person to person, and it also differs as per your schedule. So if you have a very light week, you don't have a test to take, or there is no courtroom exercise that coming, or there's no project submission, then you will not be hanging around the library so much unless you're doing voluntary readings. People get busy a lot in the third year, and I think their average day changes because now they're doing a lot of things, academic and non-academic, which require them to read a lot and research and write. So then I think your day will become heavy on academics. Most people used to pay a lot of attention to fitness in our college as well. We had a gym, and you will find people, if they're not playing a sport, they'll be in the gym in the evening. Or our moot court rooms will be occupied by people who are doing their moot court practices for their upcoming competitions. I mean, bunch of activities, and your day will be decided by what kind of schedule you have on a given week.
Now we move to the part wherein we discuss the connectivity of the campus from the city and what are the places to sightsee around.
The college is situated at least 10 to 12 kilometers away from the main city, and airport is almost 15 kilometers away. So now if anyone goes to college now, and now the connectivity scenes have completely changed because all sorts of cabs are active. Ola, Uber are available. There are private cabs also which are available. Connectivity is no more an issue because of the availability of cabs. And also even at a difficult hour, like at night, if you're coming, like I being from Jaipur, I used to go to Jodhpur in a way that I used to reach there at 5 a.m. And I never found it difficult to go to my campus even at 5 a.m. from the main, you could say, railway station or something. So connectivity is not an issue anymore, and you'll always have some contacts saved on your phone who you could call up, and they'll just like show up and drop you wherever. The only thing is that it used to take a little bit of time because 30 minutes are given for any place if you want to go in the city from the campus, because of the campus was a little far off. And when you say places to visit in Jodhpur, I think Jodhpur is a major tourist attraction for foreign as well as an Indian tourists, because of the whole grandiose behind the Rajputana culture. Rajasthan is anyway so famous for its forts, and I would say that my favorite attraction in the city was the Mehrangarh Fort, which is at the heart of the city. And everything is essentially near the fort because the fort is at that hilltop, and that's the old city. Like, so there is a very beautiful lake which is called Kailana, which is in the old city itself, and that used to be a good attraction. People used to cycle from our college to that place, and on Sunday mornings. So that is a very pretty attraction, so to say. Then apart from that, there are some really good heritage restaurants in Jodhpur, which are completely, based on Rajasthani style, so to say, and they used to attract a lot of foreign tourists. A desert, you could say mini Jaisalmer, sort of a desert where camps used to be set up. That is almost an hour away from Jodhpur. So this used to be like a weekend trip for some if the weather is good. And the thing with scholarships is that there is a Aditya Birla scholarship that is being provided by Aditya Birla Group to, I think it's provided to 6 colleges within the law school circuit, and NLUJ falls in one of those. So when you enter college, the first 20 in order of CLAT rank in the first semester used to be eligible, because that was the eligibility criteria that Aditya Birla Group has set for the scholarship in law schools. Then out of the 20, there was a process. We used to have to write 2 essays, and then on the basis of those essays, we used to get called for interviews in Bombay. The biggest advantage of Aditya Birla scholarship is that your entire 5 years of law school are financed completely by the scholarship. Then apart from that, the college runs its own scholarship, which is provided on a need basis to 2 individuals who have scored well in their academics and are falling in a certain criteria need basis. Then apart from that, there was no other scholarship as such, but on a need basis, our alum support has really risen to people's assistance. So there have been 2-3 instances where someone was unable to pay their fees, and the college contributed, the alums contributed, and ensured that nobody gets to nobody has to leave college because of their inability to pay their fees. Fests, I think NUJ is famous for both its major fests. So alternative year, we have the Yuvardha, which is the National Sports Fest, and the NH65, which is our cultural fest. So, and this happens alternative years. So if in your first year Yuvardha is happening, so in my first year Yuvardha was happening, in my second year there was NH65, and so on and so forth. And the cultural committee and the academic committee of the college is responsible for the NH65, and which is the cultural and academic fest, and the sports committee is responsible for Yuvardha. Yuvardha is extremely competitive, because Yuvardha attracts a lot of good sporting talent from across the law school circuit, and the matches, especially in the later stages of the tournament, in every sport used to be extremely competitive. And it's not like NLUJ used to win all the medals and, oh, this is home glory. We used to fight a lot when it comes to football, for that matter. Cricket used to be a big challenger in Yuvardha. Badminton, basketball. We once faced in a basketball final in my first year in Yuvardha. We once faced a team which had a national level players. So in basketball. So I mean, Yuvardha is a personal favorite. Then apart from Yuvardha, we had the NH65. NH65 used to be a 3-day fest, wherein it was a blend of academic and cultural activities during the day, and in the evenings there used to be good events such as so we had Pratik Kuhad concert at in one of the NH65 editions. Then we had the Indian Jam project. We had Rahul Dua as well, who was the Comic Stan finalist. So I mean, NH65 was a good blend of fun as well as academic cultural activities. And NLUJ is also famous for its parties, because like during NH65 there used to be grand parties at the end of the fest. We organize antitrust moot court competition, which is in its 11th edition now. So it's India's first national moot court competition based on competition law, and it's great. It's great exposure for competition enthusiasts, for people who are getting introduced to the subject, because we always have CCI associated with the competition. CCI provides financial aid to the competition, and we also have a tier one law firm, working on the proposition of the moot. And then we had a national debate, NLUJ debate, parliamentary debating, which used to happen again on an yearly basis, which was run by the debating committee. And recently, our ADR cell has increased the number of activities that it does. So we also have a national mediation competition, which is done every year. I think it's in its third or fourth edition now. And we see great participation in the mediation competition as well. So these are the three marquee events in academic sphere, one can say.